A darkness had fallen upon Persia. The once vibrant and flourishing empire was now shrouded in an ominous gloom. The skies, once clear and blue, were now perpetually overcast, casting a pall over the land. The people of Persia could feel the weight of this darkness in their hearts, a foreboding sense of dread that seemed to seep into every corner of their lives. The land trembled in fear. Earthquakes shook the very foundations of their homes, and the ground beneath their feet felt unstable, as if the world itself was rebelling against them. Villagers huddled together, their faces etched with fear and uncertainty, as they wondered what calamity would strike next. A monstrous force, the White Demon, held King Kavus captive. This fearsome creature, with its glowing eyes and towering presence, had cast a shadow over the entire kingdom. The king, once a symbol of strength and unity, was now a prisoner, his chains a stark reminder of the power that had been stolen from Persia. Hope dwindled with each passing day. The sun, which once brought warmth and light, now seemed to set earlier and earlier, casting long, eerie shadows over the land. The people's faces were marked by worry and despair, their spirits crushed by the relentless darkness that enveloped them. From this abyss of despair arose a hero, Rostam. Clad in shining armor, he emerged from the shadows, a beacon of hope in these dark times. His presence alone seemed to lift the spirits of those around him, as if his very being was a promise of better days to come. He was the mightiest warrior of Persia, riding his loyal steed, Raksh. Together, they were an unstoppable force, a symbol of the strength and resilience of the Persian people. Raksh, with his powerful build and fierce loyalty, was more than just a horse. He was a true companion in every sense of the word. Together, they would embark on a perilous quest, a trial of 7 labors. Each labor would test their strength, courage, and resolve, pushing them to their very limits. The path ahead was fraught with danger, but Rostam and Raksh were undeterred, their eyes fixed firmly on the goal ahead. Their goal to liberate the king and vanquish the forces of evil. This was no ordinary mission. It was a battle for the very soul of Persia. Rostam knew that failure was not an option, for the fate of the entire kingdom rested on his shoulders. Rostam's heart was heavy, but his resolve was ironclad. He understood the gravity of the task before him, and though the weight of responsibility was immense, he was determined to see it through. His eyes, filled with a mix of sorrow and determination, gazed out at the horizon where the final battle awaited. He swore an oath to protect his people. This vow was not just words. It was a binding promise, a sacred duty that he would uphold no matter the cost. With his sword raised to the sky, he pledged to fight for the freedom and safety of his homeland. He would face any danger, overcome any obstacle. No matter how insurmountable the challenges seemed, Rostam's spirit remained unbroken. He was prepared to confront the fiercest of monsters and navigate the most treacherous of terrains, all in the name of justice and honor. His legend would be forged in blood and fire. The battles he fought were not just physical confrontations, but epic struggles that would define his legacy. Amidst the chaos and flames, his sword clashed with the forces of darkness, each strike echoing the indomitable spirit of Persia. His name would be whispered in awe for generations to come. This was his destiny. Rostam's story would be told and retold, a timeless tale of heroism and sacrifice that would inspire countless others. His name, inscribed in the annals of history, would forever be a symbol of courage and resilience. Rostam's first labour took him deep into a shadowed forest. An ear-splitting roar shook the very earth. A monstrous lion, larger than any man had ever seen, emerged from the trees. Its eyes blazed with primal fury. Its fangs dripped with venomous saliva. It lunged at Rostam with terrifying speed. Raksh, ever vigilant, sprang into action. He reared back, his hooves connecting with the beast's chest. The impact threw the lion off balance. Rostam seized his chance. He drew back his sword and struck. The blade met flesh and bone. The lion roared one last time before collapsing to the ground, defeated. The first labour was complete. The second labour tested Rostam's endurance. He journeyed into a desolate desert. The sun beat down mercilessly. The wind whipped sand into his face. Raksh, his noble companion, grew weaker with each passing hour. Just when all hope seemed lost, a glimmer appeared on the horizon. It was a spring, its waters sparkling like 1,000 jewels. Rostam guided Raksh towards the life-giving oasis. They drank deeply, their strength returning with every drop. The desert had tried to break them, but their bond remained strong. They would face the next challenge together. The third labour brought Rostam face to face with a monstrous dragon. This was no ordinary dragon. It was a beast of legend, a creature that had terrorized villages and laid waste to entire armies. Its very presence struck fear into the hearts of even the bravest warriors. It had 3 heads, each spewing flames that scorched the very air. The heat was so intense that it felt like the sun itself had descended to the earth. The dragon's fiery breath could melt steel and turn stone to ash. The ground trembled under its massive weight. Each step it took caused the earth to quake, sending shockwaves that could be felt miles away. Trees toppled and rocks shattered under its immense power. Its scales were impenetrable, its claws razor-sharp. The dragon's hide was like a suit of armour, impervious to swords and arrows. Its claws could rend flesh and bone with terrifying ease. This was a creature of nightmares. Its eyes glowed with a malevolent intelligence, and its roar could be heard for miles, a sound that sent shivers down the spine of anyone who heard it. Rostam knew brute force wouldn't be enough. He had faced many foes before, but this dragon required a different approach. He needed to outthink the beast, to find a way to exploit its weaknesses. He studied the dragon, looking for a weakness. He observed its movements, its patterns, and its behavior. Every detail was crucial, every observation a potential key to victory. He noticed that whenever one head attacked, the others lowered momentarily. It was a fleeting moment, but it was a vulnerability nonetheless. This was the opening he needed. It was a small vulnerability, but it was all he needed. Rostam's eyes narrowed with determination. He had found the chink in the dragon's armour. He waited for his moment, then charged. With a battle cry that echoed through the valley, he launched himself at the dragon, his sword gleaming in the sunlight. He dodged a fiery blast, then another. The dragon's head snapped and snarled, but Rostam was too quick, too agile. He moved like a shadow, always one step ahead. Finally, he saw his opening. The dragon's heads were momentarily out of sync, and Rostam seized the opportunity with both hands. With lightning speed, he unleashed a series of blows, each one finding its mark. His sword danced in the air, a blur of motion and precision. The dragon roared in pain and collapsed, defeated. Rostam had triumphed again. The beast lay still, its reign of terror finally over. Rostam stood victorious, a hero once more. The fourth labour tested Rostam's cunning. He encountered a beautiful sorceress. She promised him rest and comfort. Her voice was like silk, her eyes like pools of starlight. But Rostam sensed a hidden danger. Her beauty was a facade, masking a sinister intent. He drew his sword, its polished surface reflecting the sorceress's true form. She was a hag, twisted and deformed by her own dark magic. Enraged, she attacked, but Rostam was ready. He deflected her spells with his shield, his sword a whirlwind of steel. The sorceress, her magic dispelled, was revealed as a frail old woman. Rostam had seen through her deception and emerged victorious. The fifth labour plunged Rostam into a nightmare. He found himself facing an army of demons, their eyes burning with infernal fire. They surged towards him, a tide of claws and teeth. Rostam fought with the fury of a cornered lion, his sword reaping a bloody harvest. He fought his way through the demonic horde, each step a victory. He finally reached a cavern, the source of the demonic army. Inside he found an enchantress, her voice dripping with malice. She was the one controlling the demons. Rostam charged, his sword raised high. The sixth labour pitted Rostam against Ardzang, the demon. Ardzang was a monstrous being, his skin as hard as iron, his strength unmatched. He laughed at Rostam's attacks, his voice a rumble of thunder. Rostam refused to yield. He fought with every ounce of his strength, his skill matching Ardzang's brute force. The battle raged for hours, neither giving an inch. Finally, Rostam saw his chance. He feinted, drawing Ardzang off balance. Then, with a roar of defiance, he delivered the killing blow. Ardzang fell, his reign of terror over. The seventh and final labour brought Rostam face to face with the White Demon. The beast was a monstrosity of unimaginable power, its eyes burning with cold, malevolent intelligence. It held King Kavus captive, its claws digging into his flesh. Rostam knew this was a battle for Persia's very soul. He charged, his sword ablaze with righteous fury. The White Demon laughed, its voice a chilling echo in the cavern. It hurled spells at Rostam, each one powerful enough to shatter mountains. But Rostam, empowered by the hopes of his people, would not be denied. He deflected the attacks, his resolve unwavering. The battle raged, a titanic clash of good and evil. The air was thick with the sounds of clashing swords, the cries of warriors, and the thunderous roars of mythical beasts. It was a scene of chaos and valor, where heroes were forged and legends were born. Finally, amidst the chaos, Rostam saw his opening. His eyes, sharp and focused, locked onto the White Demon. He knew this was his moment, the culmination of his arduous journey and relentless training. He struck with all his might, his sword piercing the White Demon's heart. The force of his blow was unmatched, a testament to his strength and determination. The demon's eyes widened in shock and pain as it realized its end was near. The beast roared in agony, its grip on King Kavus loosening. The king, who had been held captive for so long, felt the chains of his imprisonment finally break. Rostam's victory was not just his own, it was a liberation for all who had suffered under the demon's tyranny. Light flooded the cavern as the White Demon's reign of terror ended. The darkness that had once consumed the land was dispelled, replaced by a radiant glow that signified hope and renewal. It was as if the very earth rejoiced at the fall of the demon. Rostam, weary but triumphant, returned to Persia with King Kavus at his side. Their journey back was a testament to their resilience and courage. Every step they took was a step towards a brighter future for their homeland. The people erupted in jubilation, their cheers echoing across the land. The news of Rostam's victory spread like wildfire, bringing joy and relief to every corner of the kingdom. It was a celebration of not just a hero's return, but of the triumph of good over evil. Rostam, the hero of Persia, had completed his 7 labours. Each task had tested his limits, pushing him to the brink, but he had emerged victorious every time. His journey was a saga of bravery, strength, and unwavering resolve. His name would forever be etched in the annals of legend. Bards would sing of his deeds, and children would grow up hearing tales of his heroism. Rostam's legacy was immortal, a beacon of hope and inspiration for generations to come. He had saved his people, his king, and his land. His actions had brought peace and prosperity to Persia, ensuring that the kingdom would thrive once more. Rostam's heroism was a shield that protected his homeland from the forces of darkness. He was a true hero, a shining example of courage, loyalty, and unwavering resolve. His story was a testament to the power of the human spirit, a reminder that even in the darkest of times, hope and bravery can prevail, and Raksh, his faithful steed, stood by his side, sharing in the glory. The bond between man and horse was unbreakable, forged through countless battles and shared hardships. Raksh was not just a companion, but a true partner in every sense. Their bond, forged in the fires of adversity, would be celebrated for generations to come. Together they had faced insurmountable odds and emerged victorious. Their story was one of friendship, loyalty, and the unbreakable spirit of true heroes.